I served with General Davis before we got overseas. You know, he was my commander down at Tuskegee once the units were organized, and as tactical units were organized. And he was commander of the squadron, of course, and I was commander of a unit that was attached to the squadron to back them up, service them. And we shipped out on this 99th, shipped out on the Mariposa in April of 1943. And General Davis and I shared a cabin. He was the commander of troops, which what that job, of course, is assigned to the senior officer on the vessel. And so I was his adjutant on that trip. And he was very friendly with me. You know, not completely military all the time. We talked about a lot of things. You know, I'd met him years before when I was in the CPT program. He was there as a ramrod straight lieutenant in charge of the ROTC program down there at Tuskegee. So down there I sort of admired him from a distance, but my wife was born and raised in Tuskegee. So General Ben Davis Jr., his family was there, and my wife's family was friendly with his mother and father, who were also at Tuskegee there. And this of course was all before the war. But so we had a pretty good relationship, although I guess I was in awe of him. So I didn't press my relationship with him. After we both retired, I got to know him a lot better because I used to visit him frequently. He was interested in getting up to speed on the computer, and I thought it was a very good idea because then he'd be able to contact a lot of his friends by email. He was somewhat limited in his ability to get around, and a lot of the Tuskegee Airmen, many of them retired, also had computers with the email capabilities. So I thought it was a very good thing. But that didn't work out as well as I hoped.
When President Clinton gave him that star, I think it was about 3 years ago now, was that really a validation for all the Tuskegee Airmen, do you think?
Oh, I think so. I think so. Well, absolutely. A Tuskegee Airman who flew with him, Bill Campbell, gave General Davis's background and all, or an account of his experience with General Davis in combat overseas. The Tuskegee Airmen were invited. I mean, principally those who were with him at the 99th were with him when were invited to participate in the event. In other words, they sat up on the platform where he was given this honor. So, and then of course, everybody who had a chance to speak spoke very well of the Tuskegee Airmen as a whole. But I would have to say that although General Davis had a lot of assignments, you know, after the war, not with a segregated group, not with the Tuskegee Airmen, and made good progress, promotions and all that sort of thing. And I'm sure that he did an excellent job because he was that kind of soldier. But I think that this award of the Star had a lot to do with the what he did with the Tuskegee Airmen. You know, not in these other jobs. I don't even remember that these other jobs were mentioned. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel that that was a validation of the successes of the Tuskegee Airmen, with General Davis as their commander.
What did you feel like when you saw the president wearing the red jacket also?
Well, that wasn't the first president that we put a red jacket on, but I personally like President Clinton very much, and I think he recognized the Tuskegee Airmen and admired them very much. He took his jacket very gracefully, and so we're quite proud that that President Clinton was willing to accept that jacket. And of course, I don't know, maybe some of the presidents wouldn't have been willing to take his jacket off and then don a red jacket or something.
When you look back on it, though, do you really think that things have changed a lot in the last 60 years?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You mean in racial relations primarily? I thought that's what you meant. Oh, yes, yes. You know, when I retired in 1970 from the Air Force, I believe there were just 2 black generals. That was Chappie James and Lou Theus, who was got to be a major general in the staff of the Comptroller General for the Air Force. Of course, everybody knows Chappie and his background. But now, you know, I'll hear General so-and-so, and I said, well, who is he, you know? I don't know how many black flag officers that we may have, but there are many. And colonels, gosh, I think after, you said 60 years, well, that takes us back to the last war. Even after the last war, you could still count the black colonels, 4 colonels, perhaps on 2 hands. And I knew all those people. There were so few, you know. And they kept us all together, you know, in a segregated setup. You know, we were segregated at Godman Field. We were segregated at Lockbourne. And that has its advantages and its disadvantages. I'm very proud and glad to know so many of the Tuskegee Airmen, you know, that started out with me. Of course, there are a lot of members that didn't serve during the war, and but those that served during the war years, I used to know most of those people, and I'm in contact with many of them through email and otherwise. The question arises from time to time as to were we really harmed by starting out in a segregated outfit? What Judge Hasty and some other of our leaders wanted to see was a complete opening up of the Army Air Corps to the black trainees, Air Force trainees. And some people say, well, we should have insisted that it be open that way. But I think that being out there together and working together sort of focused on the capabilities and the power of the black soldier. This is the same as anybody else. But if we had been spread throughout the entire military service in assignment, I don't think we would have had that focus. Certainly a few outstanding people would have emerged. But I think after all it turned out better this way.